Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Pop Culture Talk episode, a review episode. Today, I'm going to be reviewing a classic game from the GameCube era. Yes, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Now, this is an odd one with me because I technically started playing this game, oh man, like years after it came out, like 2008, just before I got Brawl. So this kept my attention for a while, and then I got Brawl. But since I have this game, and a lot of people cherish this game as one of the best in the series, what do I think of it? What do I think of Melee? Do I think it's the best in the series? Do I think it's overrated? Or do I just think mediocre at best? Well, that's why you're here. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Melee. And whether or not it is really that big of a deal, as a lot of people are saying it. Better than Brawl, to be honest. Let's go, shall we? So when it comes to the plot, there really isn't a plot. There is the single player mode, which is classic mode nowadays, where you go around different levels and fighting Nintendo characters from their world to get to the final destination. However, there is an adventure mode, which makes you go through different Nintendo worlds and face off against specific enemies from that Nintendo world before you face off against the main Nintendo characters. Overall, there's nothing really in depth about like a plot perspective of this game. You just go around different worlds and fight the Nintendo characters, which I don't mind. That's what I liked about the original Nintendo 64 version. However, though, you do get the first introduction of Giga Bowser. He does appear in this game as a final boss in the adventure mode. Overall, though, I mean, it's still fun to play through both player one mode, like classic mode, or I guess the adventure mode where you go through different worlds. So don't expect much of a plot here. There's really no plot. You just play the game. It's a Nintendo All-Stars. But I will say, though, the music in here is just as classy, still just as catchy today as it was back in 2001. And of course, most of them are adapted from the original games of their world, just remixed. Heck, some of these songs end up coming back or reused again in other Smash games, and I'm glad they brought it all back in Smash Ultimate. Also, you do get new characters in this game, and some you will have to unlock as you keep playing. The first timer, Fire Emblem, makes an appearance. Marth. At least over in the States, this is his first introduction, even though he's been around since the early 90s, or just in general around the world. Now, the gameplay has been enhanced from the original game, since the first one was, limited due to the cartridge. This takes it up a notch. So while the gameplay is just as fun as the original, it's actually better than the first game. There's also more open areas to explore around the specific maps, like, maybe the Legend of Zelda series, like their temple map. And it's pretty fun to just go on top of stuff, move around. But on top of all that in the map, there's also new items to use against your foes. And of course, the position of the camera is just going to be the same as the original Smash, but it's able to do pretty well at keeping up the pace in this game. But I do think there's a lot of mechanical improvements here. Heck, the speed of this game is actually faster than the first game. They speed it up a notch when it comes to the battle arena. Your characters move faster, they hit faster, but at the same time it's also smoother. And while all of these mechanics were new at the time for this game, it's still Smash. And the biggest thing in this game is the multiplayer. Of course, this is where a lot of people come together to play. It is a party game. Seeing all your favorite Nintendo characters come together to face off in an arena. And heck, even if you have a friend or a family member that likes to hop on and play this game as their favorite character, yeah, you would have a fun time. And this was before the internet really got big. On your couch, in your living room, and like these were the days of the early 2000s before online gaming. And this is what is the highlight of this game. And of course, since with all the improvements, makes it a nice smooth ride to play with other people. But the replay value in this game, there's a lot of other stuff to do. Heck, people are still finding things nearly decades after this game was released. They're still finding stuff. You get to collect trophies, you get to play these little mini games, and of course, you could always go back to the single player modes. Heck, there's even a camera mode where you can control the camera position in this game, which I do feel like the people that made Smash Tasm might have used this method, because boy, it's actually fun to move around and just see this whole environment of the map. You could literally make like a movie or something out of this if you wanted. But yeah, you could do that and take photos. This was like before Brawl inserted this photo mechanic in the game, but in a different way. Overall, there is a lot of stuff to do in this game. And it's surprising at a span of 2 years apart from the first game, they nailed it. And I'm impressed with how they inserted so much in this one game. However, though, I do want to talk about some things about this game that I personally feel about it. So here's the thing. I did play Melee before I played Brawl. That is a fact. Though this was 2008, around the time Brawl came out. I mean, don't get me wrong, the game is fun. I do like it. It's not my favorite Smash game. They do add a lot of good stuff in this game. Don't get me wrong. The effort put into this game is good. It's not my favorite. Brawl has always been my favorite, and now Ultimate is my favorite because it brought everything back. But Melee, I mean, it is good though. It is a good Smash game. I just personally am not as attached to it compared to maybe other people that liked this game, that grew up with it. If you love this game, if you think this is your #1 favorite game of all time, that's great. I'm glad you like it. It is a solid game. But personally, it's not my favorite in the Smash series, even though it did improve on so much levels. Heck, I do think Ultimate mixed a lot of good things with what Brawl and Melee did and made a great game there. Well, Super Smash Bros. Melee improves so much from the first, but as of now, it does feel a little odd since it's been almost more than a decade since the game came out, but it's still a classic. It still improves a lot, and it does add a lot of new features in this game that are enjoyable, but if you're in more of a nostalgic mood to go back to the early 2000s, this would be one of the games. But personally, it's not my favorite in the series. Brawl would probably be one of my favorites, along with Ultimate. And then I do like the first one for the nostalgic reason. Melee, I don't know, like, I played it late after it came out, so I didn't have a GameCube when I was growing up. I had a PS2, so I missed out. I did want to play that game, but didn't have it. And now I have pretty much everything, and I could just put it in whenever I want. Still, though, it is a classic game. I would say, if you're able to get it, I would play it for the nostalgic, classic feel of Super Smash Bros. Because it is a classic game, and it improved a lot in the game mechanic. And then others will follow suit. Brawl would kind of do a little bit of a backward thing with it, sort of. The fourth installment would do a little bit mixture of, I guess, both. Go back to how it was at the beginning with Melee, a little more fast-paced, and then Ultimate combines everything from Melee, Brawl, fourth game, etc. But Melee probably could be in your collection if you like this game. So yeah, that's what my rating would be. I would play it or collect it. It is a classic. If you want more classics from the GameCube, there you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like what you saw here, subscribe, follow me, wherever you're watching. And yeah, peace.